Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Deja Vu here, bringing you another StarCraft commentary. This is again going to be from the Pro League, and this will be a series between Eastro and my boys over at STX Seoul. And hopefully we'll get to see some Cal, get to see some Calm, some Shuttle, some sweet dudes from STX and Eastro. Well, they've got Flying here in this game, starting out in the bottom left in yellow. And also, Action has been pretty much an up-and-coming, pretty exciting Zerg player, and then Really, who has not been playing very well this round of Pro League, is playing pretty awful, actually. I have him on my Fantasy Pro League team, and I can attest to he's being near worthless. There's nobody to trade him for. He's just so low right now. I think he's like something like 2-8 in Pro League this round. It's really, really not been pretty for him, so see if maybe he shows up here and gets a little bit of a comeback, maybe, because he could really use a pick-me-up. So hopefully in this series, maybe really gets a win. We get a win from Calm and Cal, something cool like that. That would be pretty nice. I do see Flying throw down his Forge at his natural expansion. Going to Forge Fast Expand as per usual here on Match Point. His opponent for STX is going to be Hero here in the top right corner in brown, the Zerg player, ZVP specialist. Very, very good at ZVP. I think he's got a good shot in this game. Flying has been kind of iffy. Flying is another one of those guys that burst onto the scene. I think last round actually, he burst onto the scene and went something like 6-1 or 7-2, something like that. Really, really good last round. And then this round he's kind of been okay, nothing too special, but he's still a pretty solid player, and we'll see what he can show us here today. This is an overpool build coming from Hero, and Flying is going to scatter it out with this probe. Going to let that drone get down the hatchery at the natural expansion pretty easily, and this probe is just going to go for harassment. Actually, it looks like the drone's going to go to the bottom right and throw down the hatchery at the bottom right first, and then take his natural expansion a little bit later. I kind of like that move, actually. Get that base up and running, get some eggs going down there, and you can get a creep colony up there a little bit earlier if you need it to defend, and because that really is the base. The corner bases are the hard parts to defend. Speed lots are really difficult to defend against because of the dual rams, and on the opposite corner, if when Protoss takes the top left, crackling speedlings to that top left base is also a very, very big annoyance, so something to look out for there. So I gotta say, for this game, I think it's more important for Eastro really to get off on the right foot in this series. Eastro has been playing pretty awfully this entire round. They've been pretty useless. I also have Eastro on my Fantasy Pro League team, so I know very, very in-depth and personally how useless they are. They are so low right now, you can't even trade them for Air Force Ace. That's right. They are valued so low, you can't even trade them for Ace. They are the lowest valued team right now. So that's pretty disappointing. In fact, the only team doing worse this round than Eastro is STX Seoul. I don't know how, but STX Seoul is doing awful. I mean, Cal has really tapered off. Calm's pretty average. Shuttle playing solidly, but I think Shuttle's doing more or less what you'd expect Shuttle to do. He's winning a little over half of his games and playing solid, but Cal and Calm not really So yeah, basically until Cal and Calm really get going again, I think STX is going to be struggling. We'll see if that happens possibly in this series. But I think Eastro at this point is pretty much out of the playoff race. I might be wrong about that, but they've got to be pretty close to out, if not out. They just have not been playing well enough overall to really be handling it. But STX should still be able to make it. I think they should still be in like second or third place. They should be doing more than well enough to get through. So still be able to see them in the playoffs, but you generally same thing in all sports. You want to be playing your best as you enter the playoffs, enter the knockout stages. If you're following World Cup, as you enter the knockout stages, that's when you want to be at your best. And unfortunately, that's not what STX is at right now. So they got to use the last couple weeks of Pro League to tune up their lineup, get some players back on a roll, and see what they can do in terms of preparing themselves for the big playoff push. STX now has this new thing where players don't watch the games from the sidelines anymore, or whatever. I'm calling it the sidelines, from the bench, whatever. So it's part of STX's new theory. The coach thinks that if they're in the back room, away from the lights and everything, they can play a little bit calmer, and they can analyze the matches a little bit more privately, and apparently this is supposed to somehow mentally help them. I don't know. I personally don't buy it, but perhaps there's something to it. We'll see. Maybe if STX starts playing a little better over the next week or so, we'll find out if it's actually is something to this theory. We do have the Spire coming down. His lair has completed for Hero, so I think STX is doing good so far with the 3-hatch Spire. I think Hero's all over it, but I'm going to see a couple more hatches coming down here. I'm sure at the natural and the third, at the bottom right. I love that third base at the bottom right going down early. I actually really like that play. It's just it's got so many more drones than you'd normally see right now, and it's nice. Do have +1 upgrading for Flying and a second Stargate from Flying, so we'll probably also see a +1 air weapons upgrade at some point as well. So he's going to be going for a heavy air build here. We'll see if it's maybe Sair Reaver, Sair DT. We'll see which one. I would assume Sair Reaver, but could also see Sair DT here. Absolutely. Not sure what that Dragoon's doing there down there at the bottom. Maybe looking around for Overlord that would dart in or something like that. We do have a Hydralisk down and a Hatchery coming down for SDX's by Hero at his natural expansion. So he's going to start setting up his nice little wall there. Another Hatchery at the bottom right as well. So pretty normal stuff here from Hero. And I don't think we're going to see a Hydra-heavy play here, at least to start. I think he's going to want to go Lurkers, but once he sees those 2 Stargates worth of Corsairs, he's going to have to stay with the Hydras, and he's not going to be able to morph as many Lurkers, which is definitely what Hero likes to do. Hero really prefers a Lurker-based mid-game as terms of his ZVP. He's always done better with his Lurkers than with pure Hydras. He doesn't have the best storm dodging, is one of his major problems with Hydras, so hopefully he'll be able to maybe research Burrow, which would be really cool, and maybe like pop up some Hydras underneath the Corsairs or something like that. That would possibly work. We do have a couple Scourges out right now for Hero. Going to get the scout. I'm going to see the two Stargates, and he'll be able to start preparing accordingly. It will be very important for him not to get those Hydras up, to get some Spore Colonies possibly even going if he does see a Citadel, which I haven't seen quite yet, but if he does see a Citadel or Templar Archives, he's going to want to get that get some, maybe even get a Spore Colony up at each of his expansions, and make sure he's got Overlords well positioned. Perhaps even get Overlord speed, those kinds of things, those sort of preparatory moves that Zergs can really do. He is getting the scout on there, as we can see. No +1 yet for the air weapon. Citadel coming up, and both of the Corsairs actually escaping the Scourge. That was very close, and it looks like 5 Corsairs in the air, and as well as a couple at home, so they're able to take down Scourges very easily now. And now he's got to be very careful, Hero does. He's got to protect his Overlords, got to find a way to protect these Overlords, can't let them die, because if they do fall, DTs will just go rampant, which is why I'm saying that he should really put down 1 Spore Colony at his main end. Ooh, some poor micro there from Flying, losing a Corsair kind of unnecessarily. That was kind of poor, but we'll see what's going on here. We got another gateway. We're going to see a few more gateways coming up for Flying. I'm sure he's starting to build up on some minerals now and gases. He's only been building Corsairs, and I can't imagine he's going to build much more than 7. Maybe he'll get to 9. He did lose the 1, so maybe with another pair he'll get up to about 8 or so. Don't really need any more than that, to be honest, especially if they get +1. There's just no need for more than that. We do have speed upgraded on the Overlord, so they'll be able to survive a little bit better against these Corsairs. And the Corsairs heading towards the bottom right, and the Hydralisks are going on the offensive here. So I think we're gonna get a lot of Overlord kills here. Yeah, there are some Hydras back at base and a Spore Colony, so we'll see how well this does. I think he's going to be able to defend that. I love the Spore Colony, very well played. And now the Corsairs have not been able to get those Overlords. That is so huge, because now this Hydra's army is going to get in here, and it's really going to start doing a lot of damage to Flying, and Flying does not have the advantage of popping Overlords. So this this could be a sustained attack from Hero, and our first couple cannons go down. It looks like almost all the Zealots are down. 1 left, none left, and yeah, just a couple cannons left, and this is looking really bad for Flying. He's really going to be struggling right now. One of the keys to the double Stargate build is you really do need to kill off some Overlords and really supply cap your opponent, so that way they can't reinforce this. This way their Hydralisks are forced to stay more at home. Flying was unable to do that, and I think Hero's going to be able to get a very quick win here. This is just about over already. He's busted through the natural. The natural has been evacuated, and Hydralisks are flowing in. We got a couple of Zealots here to try and defend, but it's just not going to be enough. This is not going to be enough. Finally, it looks like some Corsairs are going to get a couple of Overlord kills, but it's not going to be good, and a ton of drones going down there as they are moving back and forth, and more Corsairs being caught by a Hydra. So GG from Flying. That's going to be that. STX is going to take 1-0 lead in this series. Good start for STX, and we'll go on to the second set. I'll see you guys all there. That was a pretty standard game. I think it's pretty simple what happened. Flying wasn't able to get the Overlords, wasn't able to really defend there, didn't have enough cannons, didn't have either Storm, DT, or Reavers, so Hero going in there with a very nice timing for that attack, and with that Spore Colony able to defend, keep his side going, so some nice play there from from By Hero, and Flying just wasn't quite up to snuff to get it done. So we're gonna go on to the second set. I will see you guys all there.